Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, we are back around the water cooler tonight, and as you can see, we got our full house in here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the show's about y'all. We want to hear from y'all. That's what we want to hear from y'all tonight. What are your concerns going into this 2025 season with Auburn football, SEC? What are your concerns? We're gonna talk about it right after this, ladies and gentlemen. You know what comes in first. Eugene Asante, bring us in.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
And ladies and gentlemen, we thank y'all so much for rocking with us around the water cooler. As always, my name is Nick Frazier, and the other guy, you hear him, you see him, tell him who you are, boss man.
Marcus Fitzpatrick, let's go, let's get it.
And of course, around the water cooler with us tonight, the man, the myth, the SEC season legend, Auburn Tez. Tez, what's up? Auburn, how you feeling, man?
Man, what's the deal? How y'all doing?
And we doing all right, man. We doing great. We doing great, man. Y'all, man. This is great, man. Marcus, how you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How y'all, man, on this Good Friday, man?
Hey, you can't complain. I won't complain. Can't do it.
Final Four Eve, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you got some games tonight. You got the women's games tonight.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sure.
Then you got the men's games tomorrow, but yeah, man, we got a nice little weekend to sit down watching these basketball games, which is gonna be fun. But as always, man, we thank y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. As always, before we get into it, man, make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, man. Go follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23, and follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23.
Again.
And follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. We're trying to get that Twitter following up. Then, of course, here on YouTube, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, go watch some more videos, like those videos as well. Share the content, comment on the videos, tell us what you think, tell us how you like it, and just tell everybody, man. We trying to go this way. We on the road to 700 subscribers. Our goal is to hit 700 within the next couple of weeks. We're trying to hit 700 subscribers, preferably before June 1st, preferably before May 1st. We're trying to hit it as soon as we possibly can. So we on the road to 700 subscribers. We appreciate y'all so much for continuing to rock with us. And go follow Tez. Tez got a YouTube channel coming out right now, man. Name on the bottom. Make sure y'all go mess with Tez over at SEC Season. I feel like I'm saying it right.
It's a tongue twister, man.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
But make sure y'all go on YouTube, go over to Ted's channel. Make sure y'all follow him there as well, man. We're trying to get him to 50 subscribers. Since how many subscribers you got right now? How many you had last time you checked?
Last time I checked, I had 20.
20. We 30 away. We need 30 more people.
20.
We need 30 more people to go hit that so we can get to 50. That's what we need.
You posted the video yet, Ted? Any content yet?
No content. Like I said, I just announced it via just telling you guys. I haven't even made an announcement on social media or anything like that. The only people that really kind of know that have dates and stuff is you guys in the chat and the other podcast that I'm on. Next week I'll be making official announcements. So yeah. But I wanted to bring it to y'all first because it's the whole reason I'm doing this.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to Tez. Man.
For real.
Hey man, let's take a look in the chat, man. Auburn Dad is in the chat. What's up, Auburn Dad? How you feeling? Said War Eagle, man. I hope everything going good with your Auburn Dad. He said, so my top concern is freaking coaching and play calling. It's evident that we're better play calling, or at least a constant voice in the game plan. We own more games despite Peyton throwing problems. We're gonna start that because we're gonna come back to that. Auburn dad comes back with another one. He says, number 2, youth and lack of experience on defense. I know the spring portal staff will try to bring in good depth and experience, but still, they have time to gel as well. I like that. And then, of course, lastly, he says, it's what lastly is what everyone's eyes going to be on is the quarterback room and the battle between Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight. Unless what we need to happen, which is Jackson Arnold taking firm hold of the QB1 and Deuce Knight still being 2 or 3 with him getting the reps. I'm pretty sure he meant it is getting the live reps in blowout games. Then think we'll still be worrying about season after the first 3 games. All right. Shout out to Auburn dad with the 3.
I ain't mad at that.
3. We're gonna get into this some more.
I ain't mad at that. That's a good 3.
Dan said Baylor is going to be the big test to start. Freaking good offense with returning starting quarterback and Sawyer Robertson. Sure. Yes, he is. And he's a 5th-year starter. Said if we win that game, I think everything falls into place for our season. If we lose, well, shout out to Dan, man. Shout out to God Dan. What's up, Dan? Welcome around the water cooler, my guy. What's up?
Welcome.
Hey, man.
Tell Tyler.
Say, man, what's going on, man? How you feeling, man? I hope everything good with you, man. Hey, Tim, man, what's going on? The legend of Sweet Sugar Bear Williams, the Huggy Beard, is around here, man. And Tim the Tool, man, Taylor said, man, different seasons, man, same concern, man. I just want competent QB play in an offense that looks like something. Is that too much to ask for, man? Nah, it ain't too much to ask for. Not at all, Terrence Howard. There's nothing much more to ask for, man. It's cool what it is, man. We with you right though. Tim coming. He said, what's the origins of the podcast name? Well, I think we asked this. Somebody asked this question before, and I answered the question, and I'm gonna answer it again right here. There's no real in-depth answer to this question. It's just the fact of the matter is when I used to play and we got the field and I would sit around the water cooler and talk on the football field. So I just called it Water Cooler Talk Sport. That's literally that's really it. There's no in-depth name for this. No, well, I saw this Fiji water and I was like, man, I got nothing. It's nothing like that. It's literally just the fact of the matter is you just talk around the water cooler. At practice, you should just get on one knee. When you went in no live reps, you just get on one knee. You either have a water bottle in your hand and you just sitting there just talking. Water Cooler Talk Sports. That's it. Nothing in depth more than that. But hey, oh no, hope you like it. Huggy Beer said, man, what's happening, fellas, man? What's happening, Huggy, man? I hope you're feeling all right, my guy. I hope all is good.
Huggy.
Speedy sitting in the building, man. You feel me? What's up, my guy? How you in there? You feeling all right, man? You feeling good? Word to you, my guy. Hope all is good. Hey, man, even Tim calling you 50. Even Tim calling you 50, man. That's what I'm talking about.
It's stuck now, man. You just let it happen.
Just gotta know. Yes, man. Thank God it's Friday. Tell Lil Huggy what's up. What's up, Lil Huggy? What's going on,
Lil Huggy?
Man, little player.
What's up?
Lil Huggy.
That Nick Marcus says, how you feeling, Timmy? What's up? What's up, Curtis? What's going on? We're trying to get through all the comments before we get into it. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't care if they're spinning the bottle with the coaches, with all the coaches standing in the circle. I just want the offense to look good. I think we all want that. I think we all just want the offense to look competent, and we just tired of mediocrity. That's all, man. We want Auburn to be good. Well, we want Auburn to be elite. That's what we want. We want Auburn to be elite. That's what it is. Please, one play caller. Yeah, that would help out a lot. He said the name is catchy. It works. Well, I appreciate that, Tim. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man. Man, ladies and gentlemen, man, we got to get to it. Got to get to my favorite segment of the day. The one and the only JT with JT's quote of the day. What's the quote of the day, JT?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's time for JT's quote of the day. The quote of the day from JT. JT has the quote of the day for you and me. What is the quote? We want the quote. We need to know the quote. So what is the quote? It's a quote. It's time for JT's quote of the day. So JT, what is the quote today?
JT, what is the quote today, JT? And the quote today that JT gives us is it don't matter how good your team is. If your coach is as good of a coach as a jar of molasses would be, you won't win. Mike Collision. I don't know if that's a real quote, JT, but shout out to JT for the quote of the day, man. Shout out to JT. So I don't know if that's what he just made up, but it is. He said so basic. So coaching specifically, he frees is what he's saying. All right, man.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into the topic, man. I know we kind of took up 13 minutes. It's a little bit longer than what we normally do, but I had to get through that. And we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us, man. I'm gonna just flatline out. I mean, because technically this is just supposed to be a show where we just air out our grievances and everything that we think that could be a concern going into this season. I'm kind of just gonna sit back because I actually want to hear y'all. I know I've talked a lot about what my grievances are, and I kind of want y'all to just take it and go with it wherever y'all go. Whatever your imagination, whatever the thought process is from what you have felt, seen, read, heard, everything. I just want to hear what you all have to say. We've had some from some of the people in the chat, and we're gonna circle back to those. But Marcus, Tez, is y'all's floor to go ahead and just let it out. Nothing for me. I'm actually gonna do this. I'm just gonna so I won't interrupt you. That's all it is. I'm gonna turn it all the way down just like that. So the question: what concerns do you have about this Auburn football team going into this 2025 season, man? Just rock and roll with it. However you feel, go ahead. The floor is yours. Whichever one of y'all want to go first.
Go for it, Marcus.
All right. Well, one of my biggest concerns is the coaching. Hopefully no mismanagement of talent. Hopefully we can get some red zone efficiency. Hopefully we get some time management with the play calling on offense. Defense, I'm not really worried. I hope that our linebacking core and the linebacking depth holds up because I know we were very young at linebacker. I hope our interior defensive line actually comes to play, because I worry about that also. I'm not really worried about the secondary. I'm not worried about the edge. Primarily it's coaching, man. I'm just I hate to go back to it, but it's just that's my biggest word going into next year, man. I hate to keep beating the horse, but it's just if he doesn't clean up what he needs to clean up, we'll be right back. No matter what the roster look like, we'll be right back in the same situation we was in last year. So it says you can have the flow.
Man, I was probably gonna say the same exact thing that you just said. Coaching is, I mean, what can we say? We talked ad nauseum about it. Coaching is the issue. We don't necessarily we didn't look at this roster last year and say that we had holes and deficiencies. At least not a lot of. We looked at this roster last year and said, this team can win 8, 9 games. Just like we're looking at this roster this year saying the exact same thing.
Yep.
It all falls on whatever this game plan is. And I guess my biggest concern is how big of a jump offensively do we have to see for us to be satisfied or for it to even be successful, right? Is it 4,000 yards passing? Is it 4,500 yards passing? 3,500 yards passing? Like, where are we
Let me ask
going?
you a question real quick. I don't mean to cut you off. Let me ask you a question.
No, you good.
Do the offense has to look fluent, or do we just have to win games? would you be just satisfied with getting by and winning game, with just barely getting to 10 wins, even though it don't look good? If you get what I'm saying.
Yes and no. It would feel like Gus Malzahn. It would feel like Gus Malzahn. It would feel like, what are we putting out on the field? And somehow, 8 games out of nowhere. And like, when stuff like that happens, coaches get extensions that they don't deserve, and then you get stuck in purgatory. So like, I wouldn't want that to happen. I would rather the offense be competent and look
Okay.
like it's that's what I would prefer.
Okay.
But seeing how the seasons have gone, and we, fresh off a 5-win season, I can't lie and say like if we stumble to 8 games, I would be happy about that. I'm tired of the 5-win. Get to bowl eligible. That would be great. I mean,
You still on mute, Nick?
Yeah, no, this y'all, man. I'm listening to y'all. I want to hear y'all thoughts, man. I want to hear what the depth is of why, when, where, how,
it's.
and who, and
I
things
mean,
like
it's.
that. I'm spectating today. I'm spectating today. Now, I want to hear this.
I'm gonna make sure I come up with some controversial stuff to say, so you have to talk.
Okay, all right. I ain't heard nothing yet. I ain't heard nothing controversial yet. So
Okay.
let's see.
I think I have concerns with almost every position group on this football team. If I'm realistic about it, there's uncertainty at quarterback. We can talk forever about that.
It is. It really is, because Jackson Arnold ain't proven.
Yeah, so we don't know what we're getting with that. We think we do. Either way we go, we're getting a new quarterback, and we're getting production that we don't know what it's going to look like in this.
What's your concerns at receiver then? Since you said you have concerns at air position,
My concern at receiver has to do with the game plan. My concern receiver is we only have one football out there, and that's a lot of mouths to feed. And what happens when mouths don't get fed? What does that do to chemistry? Chemistry can affect the room. Chemistry can affect the top players. So like that is my concern. That's why at the beginning of this, I actually like, what does the jump look like? Going from 2,700 yards to what are we expecting this offense to look like? Because when we start looking at the receivers, we go down the list. Cam Coleman's 1,000-yard receiver. Eric Singleton should be 1,000-yard receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys are close to 1,000-yard receivers. Even Malcolm Simmons, 900 yards, right? What team in the SEC last year put up numbers like that? Probably like Ole Miss or something like that, maybe. Right. Ole Miss, LSU had pretty.
Yeah, Ole Miss. Yeah, Jackson Dart had 4,200 yards passing, and right behind him was Garrett Nussmeier. Ole Miss was just over 4,000.
Right. So the expectations with the receivers that we have, with the receiving room we have, if they produce the numbers that we expect them to be capable of producing, we're talking about 4,200 yards passing, 4,500 yards passing on the season. And that's a massive jump coming from a year where we just had 27 yards passing. So,
what's your faith? Give me your I say percentage of faith that you think we're gonna make that jump.
We can make a jump from 27 to 4,000 yards passing.
Actually, it's more like from 3,200 yards to 4,200. So like an extra 1,000 yards. Because you got to factor in Hank Brown's, yardage that he had, in the New Mexico game and the first half
right.
of the
You're right. An extra 1,000 yards passing. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say up about 50% that we could do that. Add an extra 1,000 yards. Because you can't. The thing about it is you can't just add an extra 1,000 yards passing. The offense itself has to put on more yards. So if you're gonna add an extra 1,000 yards passing, you're probably gonna add a couple extra 100 yards rushing too, right? Because you're gonna get more attempts. To add more yards passing, you have to have more plays essentially, right? Uh, it doesn't just come from. I mean, conversion rates are one thing, but like you need more plays on offense to run up. If you look at an Ole Miss, they run a lot of plays on offense. They run tempo. Like you need more plays to put up yards like that. So it's not just as simple as the receivers are going to be better, the quarterback's going to be better. We're going to here's an extra 1,000 yards. Like it doesn't really work like that. Like everything has to increase for you to get to those numbers. So and that's my only concern with the receiver room. The talent is there. It's just that can we feed all of them? And what is the camaraderie going to be like if somebody doesn't get fed?
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Tiz. Hold that thought. Hold that thought right there, because I want y'all to go more into that chemistry. Chemistry this way, man. I was just playing JT. God, dog. Somebody in their feelings. Jesus Christ. I was just playing. But anyway.
Yeah. Just going into that.
Hold on real quick. Daryl he got to come. He said for defense, only thing concerns me is the penalties and 3rd and long. For offense, man, I don't know where to start. Play calling, competent QB play, etc. Curtis Jackson came in and said, my guy 50, he said youth and inexperience at D-line, linebacker, and running back. And then right behind that, Dan says, don't see us rushing the ball as much this year. Do you?
That's what I was finna speak to. I like when we speak on that 1,000 yards and where it would come from, Tiz, I think it's gonna be a very like another cut in the per carries for the running backs this year. Like just because we have so many weapons at receiver. So that's
Right.
what I was thinking. Like, all right, like you said, 1,000 may be too steep, but I see it at least 750. So it's just like, because I don't see 60 for the pass run. I see more, I say 75, 25. Cause he hate running the football, bro. It bores him, like Nick said last year. For some reason, it seems like it bores him.
Just for purposes, just for purposes, last year Auburn was 61 to 39% pass to run is what Auburn was last year.
How many rushing yards do we have last year total as a team? Do you know off the top of your head?
Total as a team, I think Auburn was just because Jarquez is at 1,200 himself, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Damari Austin was at roughly about 2 something. I think Jeremiah Cobb was right over 100, and I think Peyton Thorne was near 300 yards as well. Let me look that up, and I'll give it to you in a minute. Hold on one question.
I mean,
Peyton Thorne.
I'm gonna take that 75-25 back, Tim, because I think the running back will have more running opportunities. So yeah,
Peyton Thorne was at 283. Damari Austin was north of 225, and Jeremiah Cobb was north of 130, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so you add roughly about another 500 yards on top of that, so 1,700 total, 1,800 total.
1,700 yards total. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I wanted to know, because what I'm looking at here, because I wanted to compare this to just kind of get a gist of what I'm saying. The numbers that we put up last year, we had the 3,000 yards passing. We talked about 1,700 yards on the ground. But we compare that to an offense that we're striving for. What Ole Miss? Let's look at what Ole Miss put up on offense.
Yeah, I actually got it written down. But go ahead. I get it. I get it to you in a second. Go ahead.
They got 4,500 yards receiving total, 2,200 yards of rushing. The reason I brought this up is because I'm gonna look at the receiver breakdown. Just got Trey Harris, 60 catches, 1,000 yards, 1,030 yards. But I'm just gonna round it off because I don't want to go into that. But 60 catches, 1,000 yards.
So okay, I don't mean to cut you off, but Ole Miss was 41-23, last year in passing,
Right.
21-34 in rushing. They were the number 4 offense, and they were 66 to 34%, 66% to 34% passing. Auburn was 3,100, 3,167 pass, 1986 rushing, and the percentage was 61 to 39 passing is what Auburn
So
was.
so think about it. Despite us having 1,000-yard rusher in Jacquez, they ran for more yards than we did.
Yeah.
Their top rusher ran for 678.
Yeah.
They needed 2 running backs to equal his production. But they also had 3 running backs go over 400 yards, another one go over 600 yards, another one go over 200 yards, and then another one go over 100 yards. Well, one of those 400 yards was actually Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
He had a 1,000-yard receiver, a 900-yard receiver, 800-yard receiver, a 500-yard receiver, a 500-yard tight end, and then a 300-yard running back and receiver. We have the talent to reproduce that. But that's realistically what we're looking at. If we want this offense to look like we say we want it to look, you're talking about Cam Coleman 1,000 yards, Eric Singen at 900 yards, Malcolm Simmons over 800 yards, maybe Horatio Fields 500, some tight end 400 yards from somewhere. Maybe we get that from Perry, and then maybe Damari or one of those running backs catch for 300 yards. That's a lot of production right there. But we had the talent to do it, but like realistically, that's a big jump. So that's my concern. Just kind of, when it comes to the receivers, like can we do that? Can we put up something similar to that where everybody's eating? And if we can do that, it'll be, we talk about historic numbers for Auburn, 4,500 yards passing. When we ever done that?
Never. Not in the season. Not in the season. I mean, because
Right.
Damian Craig is the all-time leader in passing with 32 with just over 3,200 yards passing for a season. But like I said, I mean, man, I ain't supposed to be talking, but I done got into it anyway. But
We said we're gonna do it.
yeah, no. I'm about to get out. I'm gonna make this point and I'm gonna get out. But the thing is, like
75-25. It was 75-25 to you.
when you look at it, like I want to look at this as I say, because when you look at the top offenses from last year, excuse me, because I did a show on this at one point at one time. Auburn was more comparable with SMU last year, actually. You know what I'm saying? When you got to, the percentage of how they ran and threw the ball. SMU's numbers last year, they was at 3,600 yards passing to 2,300 yards rushing. And that's a 61-39% split right there. But when you look at the top teams that were the top offenses, Ole Miss and Miami stand out. Miami was 4,300 yards passing. They had 2,100 yards rushing, 67% passing to 33% rushing. Ole Miss was right behind them with 66% passing to 34% rushing. And then North Texas was, I think, right behind them with 66% passing to 34% of their plays, of their yards, of their total yards for the season was rushing yards. So, I mean, and you literally looking at Auburn having to get in the rushing game 700 to 800 yards more to be in the conversation with those teams that were considered some of the top offenses last year, percentage wise. And we look at the total yards. So, I mean, I just want to get in there and say that. And now it's back to y'all. Go ahead.
I mean, what do you think? How do you think that's divided? That's my concern with the receivers. How do you think those yards are divided up when you look at those teams like a Miami? Is it like one receiver that's dominating in the receptions, or are they spread the ball out?
I think it'll be more so like a Colorado type, like two of the top, like over 1,000. Then you got the other spectacular receivers, like you put earlier, right around 500 or 600.
Right.
I ask y'all this: Do y'all think Auburn has the potential to have 2,000-yard receivers?
Yes.
And if it were, who would they be? I mean, because having 2,000-yard receivers basically is you. I mean, that's half the battle right there of getting to that number.
The only reason I'm gonna say no is because it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to get to that. We just looked at Ole Miss stats. They threw 4,500 yards. They didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver. Now, granted, the other one was like right at 900 yards, but to get two receivers over that number, if we have two receivers go over 1,000, that means that probably we see Perry leaving. We see Malcolm Simmons making some decisions. Bryce Kane making some decisions. Like, if it's divided like that, if it's Cam Coleman 1,200 yards and Eric Singer to 1,100 yards, that third receiver come in about 500 or 600 yards. After that, it's gonna be a significant drop off in touches.
I'm gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna put something out to y'all right here. Okay, and I'm gonna ask y'all this. I'm gonna see if y'all can ride with this. All right. Do you think with yes or no questions, then we'll get into the conversation and I'll bring up why. Do you think we have the quarterback paired with this receiving core? Do you think we have a quarterback that can go over 5,000 yards passing this year?
Just off pure talent, yes.
Okay. Marcus, what you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Do you think we have a running back or running backs that can get us 1,500 total yards rushing?
Hey, you said running back or running back collectively?
Running backs, a running back or running backs. Do you think we have that can get us 1,500 yards total yards rushing?
Yeah,
I think we'll run for
as a collective, yeah.
Okay. Do you think we have receivers in this receiving room? Do we have one receiver that can go over 1,500 yards? Do we have another receiver that can go over 1,400 yards? And do we have other receivers that can go over 500 yards? And one that potentially can go over 4? Do you think we have that in their wide receiver room?
Do I think they at the same time?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Here's the thing. Reason why I brought that up. The last team that I can remember doing that was the 2019 LSU team. Joe Burrow threw for 5,671 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire himself rushed for 1,400 yards in that season. Okay. Jamar Chase went for 1,780 receiving. Justin Jefferson had 1,540. Terrence Marshall had 671. Thaddeus Moss had 570. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running back, tipped in 453 yards receiving. So I'm gonna just ask again. When you look at this roster, okay? When you look at this roster, you know who's on the roster.
I do.
All right. You know what we've been hearing. You know what has been being said about these guys. Do you not think that this offense can replicate that 2019 LSU offense? And it's not like we all know. And let me be clear before you start saying it in the chat. I am not comparing Jackson Arnold to Joe Burrow. I'm not. But when you have two wide receivers that are studs like that, it's a lot easier to throw the football to them. And we know what we've been saying and hearing about this receiving core and this offense is that there's so much talent that even with having just those three guys on the field in Singleton, Simmons, and Coleman, that you're not going to be able to double team all of them or one of them because the other two other people are going to be open. So I ask you again, they had two guys that are NFL talents. We potentially have four that are NFL talents in this room. So I'm asking you, and all of them are going to play. So can we legitimately, and I know this is a reach. No, I don't think it's a reach. I say it's a reach. I'm saying it potentially could happen. Do we have that? With Jackson Arnold playing the Magic Johnson role, the assist role, all he got to do is just throw the ball. He's gonna have from what we're hearing and what we're seeing and what we believe is gonna happen. The talent itself alone, defenses are not going to be able to double team these guys. It's gonna be a lot of one-on-one situations. So now all he has to do is just make the correct pass and the correct read and a catchable ball. Are we saying that we can't have that same type of output that LSU had in 2019?
No.
No.
You still believe so? You still don't think so? Wow.
I mean, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. But like, okay, I'm not. You stated the obvious. Jackson Arnold, and
it's not Joe Burrow. If he turns out to be Joe Burrow,
you missed the point.
No, I'm just saying
you missed the point there.
You stated that.
He doesn't have to be. He doesn't. I stated that because we're talking about Joe Burrow as he is now in the NFL. Joe Burrow in college. I would say this. I would say Joe Burrow's first year at LSU was probably more impressive as play on the field wise than it was his second year than the national championship year. Even though he won a Heisman Trophy. Now, and the reason why I say that is because the second year he was more in tune with Jamar Chase and with Justin Jefferson. And it was just it was easier for him to play the game. He had to make a lot. It wasn't like he had to go out there and make the difficult throws because you just had two athletes, two guys that was just going to go get the football. We have four of those guys in the room.
Okay. So that brings me to my next point. After Joe Burrow, is I know we have a lot of talent at wide receiver.
Okay.
We're also talking about the two best receivers in the NFL. Right. These are perennial Pro Bowl receivers. Like, you don't get much better than Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Okay.
When we're talking about receiver play anywhere in the world.
First full year on the field, too.
I love Cam Coleman. I love Eric Singleton. I love Malcolm Simmons. He's probably my favorite receiver of the bunch. But to say that they can reproduce that, we got to see that on the field first, because that is elite. Like, if you look up and tell me if in 5 years that Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman are the number 1 and 2 receiver in the NFL, then yes. Is that where they project? I don't know, but like, that's a loft. Those are loft. That's almost as big as the. And this is no knock to their talents, because those are talented kids.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a gap. That's big expectation.
You gotta understand where I'm coming from. You gotta understand where I'm coming from for this, because
and those are two all-around receivers too. Like, those two receivers that can do everything.
I've been on record stating that I think that
team as well.
Yeah, Terrence Marshall. I said Terrence Marshall's name. I said that, but Terrence Marshall, he only had 600 yards receiving. But this is the thing. 671 to be correct. This is the thing. I've been on record saying that I felt as if Cam Coleman, as a freshman, I said that I felt if he was able to go into the draft, I felt that he could have been a late first round pick to a Super Bowl contending team right now. I said that when he was being recruited, because I just saw the talent. I was like, yeah, this dude, that deal. I was like, you put him as a second, maybe a third, maybe a second option on a Kansas City team in the NFL right now. He could give you he can give you 600 yards receiving. He can give you 600-700 yards receiving right now. I feel, I'm not, and I got to be critical of him as well too. He did drop some balls last year, early in the season, but then once you saw him get comfortable, you saw the talent actually come out, and you saw what he can do. Once he got comfortable with Peyton Thorne and the quarterback and things stuff like that. Now he's in his second year. You have Jackson Arnold there. It seems as if there's a chemistry between him, Jackson Arnold, and even Deuce Knight. It seems like there's some type of chemistry there because everything that we're seeing here and reading seems as if this combo is this duo is going to be something serious to watch out for. So
Right.
when we talk about the talent part, I don't think the talent is too far away. I mean, like, understandably, yes, they're in the NFL, but talent wise, Cam Coleman's there. Cam Coleman's right there.
I mean, measurables wise, he is, but like I don't. A lot of it is scheme. About what I'm about to say. He's not going to get to 1,700 yards receiving, running, stopping goals.
Nope.
But he wasn't running stopping goals last year.
I mean, he ran some fades.
He ran a lot of his stuff
he
was running was a lot of downfield stuff, and it was a
That's what I'm
lot of
saying.
digs. It was a lot of digs in the middle of the field to where if he caught it, he can turn and go upfield.
Go back and look at the routes that Jamar Chase was running. It's those are two receivers that, like, you know, when you don't have to. You remember Odell and Landry,
Yeah.
and it was just them two. They didn't go three wide. It was just them two receivers on the field because both of them could do
They were
everything.
just so good. Yeah.
Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson were that. Now, granted, they didn't do the offense that evolved, but like they those are two receivers that can do every single thing on the field. It's just a lot the expectation, and a lot, like I said, the scheme. Scheme is also. I would rather compare them. What's the most historic season that Hugh Freeze has had? Like, that's why, like, comparable numbers, like comparable players. Like, if you compare a DK to a Cam Coleman, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, it'd probably have to be a DK Metcalf season.
Yeah, because it's like that type of production, 1,700 yards receiving, you have to be running everything. Like, you have to be every single route on the field. You have to be running it.
Okay, so let me.
You have to be getting the touches.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing what you're saying. So, are you saying he can't do that?
I haven't seen it.
We saw it in high school.
I think he could be a 1,000-yard receiver.
No, that's not that. Now we all believe
1,700 yards.
No, we talk about 1,700. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, we all feel that Cam Cole can be a 1,000-yard receiver easily. We all feel that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the question that the question is, and Tez is making he's making a great point here. He's saying in order for him to do that, he's gonna have to be able to run the full route tree. He's gonna have to be able to run 1 through 9 on the route tree. So basically, instead of just being a downfield type person, he's going to have to be able to run a dig, catch the ball, and get yards after the catch. He's going to have to be able to run slants. He's going to have to be able to run the out route. He's going to have to be able to run, the post or the post corner, whatever it is, whatever stuff like
and
that.
Even if he can run it, are we going to let him run it? Even if he can, or are we going to let him run it?
That's a good question. You know, okay. Well, I ask you this question. I ask you this: which receiver is better suited to do that? Would it be Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, or Malcolm Simmons? Okay, so you answer the question. All right, Eric Singleton.
I actually have a hot take that Eric Singleton is probably better suited to lead this team in receiving.
That's not a hot take.
Probably get some pushback.
You won't get no pushback from me there.
Okay. I can see him getting over 1,000 and Cam Coleman going under 1,000. Is a realistic expectation. Like,
you're not gonna get any pushback from me there.
Just and honestly, for the reasons that I'm stating about those LSU receivers, is like Eric Singleton. We know he excels at every single thing on the field. You can give him the ball out the backfield if you wanted to. Like, not saying that Cam can't do that. It's just we haven't seen it, right? Not at this level. Yeah,
what I said about Eric Singleton is I felt as if this year is probably going to be a lot more easier for him to get the football this year because he's not going to be the focal point of the defense.
For sure.
That's just I think him playing in this offense is going to be so much easier. He's going to have so much more freedom to get open in the middle of the field. He's gonna sneak past a lot of people down on a couple of 9 routes, some bang 8 routes. That's not a hot take. I'm not gonna say that's a hot take. I think I wholeheartedly can see that, but when you look at the prototypical size of what Cam Coleman is, size, speed, strength, and his ability to go up and get the football, just because he's 6'3", 6'4", and
Right.
he has a larger catch radius than Eric Singleton does. I just feel as if it's not a perfectly thrown ball, and this is nothing against Eric Singleton as well, because I think he can go get the football as well. I think his catch radius is large as well too. But
Right.
being 6'3.5", 6'4", you have a much larger catch radius, so you don't have to be as accurate with the football. You just throw it in that area and you can go get it.
Right. I mean, that's true. Those are big numbers out there, though. 1,700 for one receiver, 1,400 for another. That's why it's impressive when they did it. Like, no,
Yeah, it was.
If you'd asked people that before the season, they probably was like, "Nah, they can't do that."
Now you got a point. Go ahead, Marcus. My bad. We keep on.
I just said so. Tez, you feel like Cam Coleman's peak this year is Sammy Coates?
Sammy Coates' best season was 900 plus yards. It's like 950 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sammy
That's
Coates.
a good question. That's a good question. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if he peaked at Sammy Coates, but I think he would, if he comes close to Sammy Coates' production. I think he's more talented. Like, you know what I mean? Sammy Coates, even in those 900-yard season, Sammy Coates was a frustrating receiver sometimes.
He made some really great catches though.
He made some really great catches. He dropped some really easy ones. But that's receiving though, right? So like, I think Cam Coleman is better than that. I think this second year Cam Coleman faster than Sammy Coates, obviously bigger than Sammy Coates. Is he bigger than Sammy Coates?
No, I think Sammy big. I think Sammy might be
bigger. Yeah, I think he's better just talent than a Sammy Coates was. So yeah, I think he his peak is higher than that, but I wouldn't be mad.
Okay. All right.
But Sammy Coates was also primarily a downfield receiver, though.
Yeah.
I'm saying when you were describing his game, his route tree, I was like, he sound like Sammy Coates.
Yeah. But that was Gus though, right? That's what we're talking about. You didn't get the opportunity. This is the only routes that Gus called. We gonna get quick. We gonna get a hitch or a go, and it's likely gonna be one receiving option on the field. And if he's not open, run.
That's funny. That is hilarious. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead with your next thought, man. I'm like I said, I'm just sitting back, even though I kind of chimed in. I'm sitting there.
I tell you what I did say. I said that I could have issues with every position on the team.
Yeah.
A lot of the reason what I'm talking about with these receivers and quarterbacks is offensive line too is a concern. Gotta be.
Really? Right. How? Explain that to me.
Well,
health, man. Health.
That health. I think we had depth, but I think offensive line play last year wasn't amazing. It wasn't bad. A lot of people trashed it, but it wasn't amazing. We did well in the run game, I thought. I thought they were physical, especially players like Jeremiah Wright. We saw what Dylan Wade was able to do. Had some trouble in the passing game. I think that the returning players have to get better, right? And I want to see that improvement. But then, like, the pieces that we're going to add, the question marks. We got Xavier Chaplin. Everything tells you that this guy is going to be amazing. He's probably – I may be least worried about him than some of the veterans that we have. I mean, the returning players that we have.
Really?
But then the right tackle spot kind of – it's a revolving door right now. We don't know how that's going to solidify it. And they have to gel, right? We had a talent, but how do they play well? Do they play well together? If they can – because I think there's going to be a downfield offense. If they can give whoever the quarterback is – well, I'm just going to say Jackson Arnold because that's who I wanted to take the position. If Jackson Arnold, give him time down the field, then we can see some of these numbers that we're talking about at receiver. But it's not just, they have to play together. It's not just as simple as this player's good, plug him in. This player's good, plug him in. He did this last year, plug him in. Like all 5 of those guys got to be in concert.
So are you saying you have concerns about the interior of the offensive line? Do you have concerns about Wright, Lou, and Wade?
No, not necessarily individually. But realistically, when we're talking about passing the ball, I need those tackles to play well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the tackles, I think everybody.
Yeah.
That's the thing. No, I feel everybody feels that way. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
I think the interior players can elevate their game too. You can always get better. Is what I'm saying. But
I agree with you there.
passing.
But the tackles, I agree with you saying. You know, is Mason Murphy going to be the right tackle? Xavier Miller's not going to be the starting left tackle. That's Chaplin. He was brought in here to do that. I mean, when you give up less than 6 sacks in 2 seasons, I mean, come on. But the right tackle position is going to be the question that everybody is looking for. But solidifying the left tackle spot, which is the blind spot for which would be the blind side for Jackson Arnold is in my opinion the most important thing on this offensive line. For the reason because he needs to have the confidence that he can stand in the pocket and deliver a football accurately or somewhat accurately, and not have to worry about getting his head blown off because the left tackle is not doing his job. And I think that problem is taken care of. Now, if Deuce Knight got in the game, I would be worried because I don't know exactly how that right tackle spot is solidified because Deuce Knight is a left-handed quarterback, and that would be his blind side. So that's worrisome. And that's probably the biggest question on this offensive line to me because, I don't know if it's because of play on the field because I think it's more because of the management of the guys that are there for the simple fact because Mason Murphy came in. This is his last year. He didn't come in and sit on the bench. You brought Xavier Miller back because of the ruling from the Diego Pavia ruling. So, and Xavier Miller was getting better during the season. And he has more of a camaraderie with the guys that's already on the offensive line next to him in Wade, Lou, and Wright. So it's that I think it's more of the player personnel type situation than it is the play on the field because I think the offensive line is going to be one of the best in the SEC, the best in the SEC, one of the best in the country, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean they could be. They return out of every position on offense. They return the most experience.
Yes,
and that hasn't been the case for us a lot in the history of the program. Is you can look at the offensive line and say, hey, this may be the strength of this offense.
True.
And it very well could be.
True.
But again, there's some question marks there. Somebody put in the chat, running back. We don't. You look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire in that season that you mentioned. This is another player who's able to do everything.
Yeah.
Catch the ball, run in between the tackles, run to the outside. He just fit in the offense so well. I don't know if we have one guy that does that. Maybe by committee.
We have a guy that can do it. You just got to give him the opportunity.
We got a collective. I think they can ball.
We got a guy that can do it. We got a guy that can be a bell cow. They just got to give him an opportunity to do it.
You said you had concerns in every position, but I want to know what's your concern at DB.
A defensive back. Honestly, I tell you what, you got me. I'm not concerned at defensive back at all.
Told you. What have I been saying?
Let's go.
What have I been saying? What have I been saying about that? I have been saying that the defensive back group, the secondary, is the strongest position on the defense.
Yeah.
On the defense,
Yeah.
I've been
I feel like that. even I feel like we have enough depth to survive injury. Unless it's just like I don't even want to speak that to us. This is like a mass of injuries, but like we can survive injury. We got returning veterans, we got newcomers. Man, if one guy doesn't pan out, there's talent right behind him. Our freshmen can contribute immediately if need be. Yeah, secondary. They've been doing their thing with the secondary, man. Yeah, I have no corners for second. If I had to go anything on defense, it would, of course, be the linebacker rule in specifically the interior of the defense.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I'm tired of getting the ball ran right up the middle of us.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't want to see that no more. I would love to not to happen this year. Edge rushers, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a question mark. We haven't seen, like, we lose a lot of production, so a lot of these guys we haven't really seen. But the talent's there. I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, probably interior of the defense, linebackers. I got question marks about that. Uh, but your
Are the
secondary is
question
probably the
marks?
one.
Are the question marks? Uh, with the interior of the defense, are the question marks about play, or are the question marks more about youth and experience?
Can I go
Um,
first on this one, Ted?
yeah, yeah, go for it.
All right. My concern about the interior would be youth and experience and depth at that position. Just being able to rotate pieces in, because, like Ted said, if you in a game and they running the ball at you primarily the whole game, can Blockton and those guys hold up? Because it's gonna be a long physical game, and if they can hold up, that's we just need to be reassured that they can hold up, that those guys can hold up. But yeah, my primary concern would be youth and experience at that position.
Mm.
Okay, okay. 50 come in and said, "Man, any talks about Strader, excuse me, been quiet. Nah, he been quiet. He been balling out at practice, man. Shout out to Rayon. Strader, man. Hopefully we can get
If
him
he
on the show.
start, if he start coming out the gate, you called it.
Yeah.
It's already coming out the gate.
He already come out the gate, bro.
He's already coming out the gate.
Ah,
Maybe we can get him on the show. Maybe we can't. Maybe he will show up. Maybe he won't. We don't know.
You know what was really encouraging? I saw, like, just looking at some of the practice film, I saw Champ Anthony out there.
Yeah,
And,
he on the
like,
sideline. Yeah, he on the sideline.
but he didn't have on, like, no knee brace
He didn't.
or anything. I was like, that is a great sign.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he full contact, but he doing
Yeah.
the drills and everything. Like he was off to the sideline a little bit. He was just doing the drills and everything like that. But yeah, I think they letting him kind of see how he
Yeah.
feel about it. You know what I'm thinking?
And when we got the bodies in the secondary to where he doesn't have to rush back.
yeah.
True.
I wouldn't mind seeing him coming in, like, after the bye week, it just be just breath of fresh air.
So you okay? So
fresh
you remind.
legs.
So that's 5 games. So you think
Yeah.
we can get through 5 games without Champ Anthony?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. All right then.
Absolutely.
Basically,
I don't
so
think it's a
basically-
player in the secondary that we couldn't get through 5 games without.
so basically, Champ Anthony come in right. He'll for his first game will be the Georgia game.
Not
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was say you gotta give him a game to warm up. You gotta give him a game to warm up.
That's after the bye week. They'll play
Yeah.
Texas A&M. They have a bye week, then they play Georgia.
I
And
can
who
see
do we
that.
have after Georgia?
Huh?
Who do we have after Georgia? We got
Missouri.
Georgia.
Missouri.
Okay, so maybe Missouri then. But that's
I'm not Georgia though. I can see him coming back after a bye week.
I mean it is home, right?
Yeah, Georgia's a home game. Yep.
Yeah, let him get in there, Georgia.
All right.
Yeah, let him get in there, Georgia.
All right then.
I wouldn't be mad at that. But yeah, like those are to be honest, my major concern, I'm just gonna say it. My major concern with this team is coaching.
Coach.
Our head coach, he does not have plan Bs.
Nope.
Coaching.
No. Yeah, he sucks at plan B, right? His plan A may be great, but if it doesn't go, like, his first year here, he didn't feel like he couldn't pass the ball, so he stopped. Like, I don't like that part about his philosophy. Like, oh, we can't pass the ball. We don't have a receiver, so we're not gonna pass the ball at all.
Mhm.
That's not an effective plan B. You need to scheme something up to try to find some efficiency in the passing game somewhere. And so if this offense doesn't look like we think it's going to look and how he wants it to look, it's going to be it's no middle ground. It's just either great or pedestrian. And like
Yeah,
that is my concern.
yeah. Marcus, read that for me real quick.
Shit, Malcolm said Woodby.
Would
Did I
be,
say that right? Woodby
would be.
Would
Would be has been the toughest corner to go against so far. Any chance he ends up starting at some point at the nickel and move lead to safety?
Well, 50. We kind of looked at this. Let's go to the water cooler talk. Practice field. This is what we kind of came up with potentially of how this could look. Yeah, Woodby could definitely be in that rotation. Does he start? I don't know if Woodby would start, to be completely honest with you. So you looking there, you have Crawford at the end position, you have Travis at the nose tackle blocking at the 3 tech. Then you have Kieran Crawford at the other buck position. We think potentially Woodyard and Riddick could be at that line at those two linebacker spots. And then of course Jay Crawford at one corner. I think Strider will probably be the other corner. And then Lee could potentially be that nickel position, or they can slide him back to the safety, to the strong safety position and move Anthony down to the nickel position. But the thing about these guys in the secondary, excuse me. Thing about these guys in the secondary is that they all are flexible. They can all move in different and play different positions on the defense. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see, if Ken Lee potentially could move back to that safety position. So it'll be interesting to see how that does work. But yeah, I think Woodby definitely has a chance of being in the rotation. Starting that I would be surprised to see Woodby start, but I definitely think he'll get on the field and play. I definitely feel that. And I believe Coach McGriff, he was in an interview, and he basically said in the interview, he said that if Woodby knew, if he know, he once he gets it, he gonna be a problem for opposing wide receivers. So yeah, man, I tell you, it's gonna be interesting.
I got a question for you, Nick. That you put up that graphic just then. What are the chances if of those corners, Crawford, K.N. Lee, Rayon Strader, at that nickel spot? What are the chances that it's neither one of those?
You talking about? You talking about Can Lee at the nickel spot?
Yeah, just the nickel position. Period. Like what are the chances that it's not one of those three names: K.N. Lee, Crawford, or Rayon Strader?
That's a good question.
Because there's some other guys that can play that nickel spot.
Yeah, I mean, because we talked about Eric Winters potentially could possibly be in that spot because he could play closer to the line, helping run support. You could put Caleb Harris there as well because he's a big body that can actually that's athletic and can run as well too. I'm trying to think of who else. I think Woodby gonna probably stay at one of those cornerback, either one of the field or boundary corner positions.
Who goes to the bench?
All right, so give me the names again. So we saying Crawford. Crawford is going to be.
Crawford's a corner. Like
Crawford is a cornerback.
Yeah,
he's solidified. I think he's solidified at the cornerback position.
So let's find another nickelback. And hypothetically, Sylvester Smith, just for the sake of argument. So Sylvester Smith comes in, balls out. He starts at nickel.
Ooh.
Crawford is one of the corners. Who is that other corner now between K and Lee? Do you move K and Lee to the bench, assuming he doesn't move to safety? Like, who starts at the other? Who's best fit at that other corner? Then is it still Rayon?
I like bigger corners, so I would probably. That's a tough one because Can Lee can cover. He can cover, but even though I feel as if I would rather Ken Lee have his face mask towards the quarterback. And I mentioned this before. He take that Jalen Simpson role, move from a boundary corner position to a free safety position, and kind of just roam around the back part. I think that would probably be where he projects at the next level. But he can lock a side of the field down if need be. Problem is, Rayon Stroud is just bigger. And he can kind of do some of the same things that he can do as well. That's tough. That's a tough one right there.
Can Rayon Stroud be like? Can he? He's a big, tall corner. Can he be?
Yeah, he about 6'1",
Hamilton,
6'1".
You know, like can he? It's a problem when you put a big kid at the nickel that can blitz. Like tall, it creates issues.
Yeah, but the thing about it is like, yeah, but would you want him running?
Tackle?
Would you want him running in the mess in the middle of the field?
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's a different question. Depending on the, when you get in the middle of the field, it's a lot of, unless they just playing man across the board, it's a lot of passing off to the next guy. And things and stuff like that. Do you want him just, already in that zone situation? Do you want that? But the thing is, like, his cornerback skills as a man type cornerback,
it's perfect. He's perfect for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's a tough one right there. Like, who would
like an 8-foot wingspan? So it's
like, that's what I'm saying.
He can be out of position. And
he can and still affect the play. You see what I'm saying? Unlike, and I'm not gonna say unlike, because Ken Lee, he can affect.
He's gonna be in your hip pocket.
Exactly. He can be stacked on a receiver, and when he's stacked on a receiver, that's when he's at his best. But the thing is, I would rather for him to have his face mask towards the quarterback, because at that point in time, he can kind of just roam around and just go get the ball and go get the football. But then also with that brings on another responsibility, because now you have to play either a third of the field or a half of the field as a safety, as a strong safety or a free safety. But if you playing that cover 7 defense, now you got to play. I mean, it's a lot of different things there as well too. Maybe one day we should talk about cover 7, because it's been for some reason, man. For some reason I've been seeing cover 7 defenses pop up on like TikTok and
it's
YouTube.
The thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess people are trying to understand it. I'm like, it's really not that hard to understand. It's really not. Is I mean, like, it's either a box on one side. It's really basically just putting one extra defender on the side of the field where the receivers at. So if you in a 2x1 set, if the two receiver side of the field gonna have three defenders. One guy gonna always play over the top, and then the outside cornerback is gonna have a med call, which is mean man everywhere he goes. And then that outside backer is gonna have that guy, unless there are rules to this as well, because there are different rules when it comes to it. Unless there's a different type of call, whether it's like a clip mix, whatever it is, and stuff like that. You have mod, which is man out and deep. If that happens, then the boundary quarterback has a certain thing. Maybe we should talk about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. Before we get up out of here, fellas, man, anything else y'all want to get off y'all chests before we call it a weekend?
I'm just glad I can get Nick to talk for 5 minutes after he said he wasn't gonna say nothing.
I wasn't.
He finished the whole second part of the show.
I didn't say nothing.
Stop.
Didn't say nothing, man. Alternative facts.
Mission accomplished, Marcus. Mission accomplished.
Exactly. It started with the 75-25.
We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. Tez, tell them where they can find you at, my guy.
You can find me now at It's SE Season. SE Season. It's a tongue twister. I know it. But yeah, check me out. It's SE Season. Go subscribe to the channel. Content coming next week. Already got some stuff planned. It's gonna be fun. Trust me.
That's what's up, man. It's a Friday night. I know a lot of people trying to have fun with their families and stuff. So we appreciate all of y'all that decided to come and chill us around the water cooler. Marcus, what you got to say to people before we get up out of here, my guy?
Man, y'all have a safe, blessed weekend, man. Y'all turn up. Be safe. if y'all just chilling in the house, be safe. Cause
Yeah, man. Yeah,
it's
y'all
crazy.
be safe. It is. Follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. If you have a Twitter, follow us on Twitter at CoolestPod23. And then, of course, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Go watch some other videos. Hit those like buttons as well. Share some of the content with your friends, family, uncles, cousins, church folks, other SEC fan bases. Let them know what it is. Tell them and help us. We're on the road to 700 subscribers. I don't know what our count is right now, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. I you know what? I'll check and see where we at. I'll check and see where we at while we on here. So I can have an accurate update of where we are right now.
23, what, 622?
Where we at?
622 last time I checked.
I don't know. We are at 623 subscribers.
Yeah, 623.
So yeah, man, we appreciate that so much. We are doing like this, trying to hit 700 in the next couple of weeks, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. These last comments that came in, Huggy Beard himself, man, said shout out to Nick and Mark. Shout out to you, Legend of Sweet Sugarback Williams. She said shout out to AU Tez. It is what it is. Tim Taylor, he said for sure. Shout out to him, man. Daryl said, man, glad I could make the live tonight. Good show, fella. Shout out to Daryl. Daryl be rocking with us on Twitter. He be entertained. He be rocking with us on Twitter. Shout out to Daryl. 623. Yes, we appreciate that. So, man, we thank y'all so much for rocking with us, man. As always, man. Before we get up out of here, as always, man, y'all have a good one. Better yet, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a great one. As always, y'all be blessed. Make sure y'all give the man upstairs above his, because he deserves it all. And until next week, when we return around the water cooler, we'll see you then. I'll holler. One love, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you then. And guess what? We out this month. Y'all have a good weekend, man. We out. Peace. Eugene Asante, take us out.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.